Stanford Jefferson girls win basketball championship. Short-term rentals are a hot topic in Middletown. Locals pour on the love for Roxbury Constable Steve Williamson. These are some stories making headlines this week. Welcome to CatskillsAir. I'm Chris Cook, filling in for Jessica Murphy this week to bring you your local news. Joining me now is Matt Avitable, editor and publisher of the Mountain Eagle and Catskills Chronicle. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, Matt. Let's get to those headlines. The town turns out at the Roxbury board meeting to praise Constable Steve Williamson. Matt, the paper talked with Steve, and there was some debate about how his situation is being handled. Can you clear this up for us?
This has been a topic we've talked about for several weeks now. Longtime Constable Steve Williamson was suspended under some debated circumstances. Part of the debate had to do with a medical examination which he passed. Regardless, at the recent March meeting, our own Mary Christopherly covered it, and there were a number of very positive comments about Steve. Not to read all of them in the cover story of our Catskills Chronicle this week, but many say that he is a, quote, asset to the community, the first person that they met in Roxbury. One said that they were proud to call him their brother-in-law, and much, much more.
We at CatskillsAir wish Steve the best. The Middletown Board was busy with short-term rental regulations and their comprehensive plan. Matt, please detail reporter Mary Christopherly's article.
Also on the front page this week, we had a presentation from Melissa Harris, a member of the short-term rental committee. The committee has been working since October to draft a policy to collect accurate data about short-term rental. The committee has been working since October to collect accurate data about short-term rentals, and Harris said that the group got good representation. The group includes a number of village and town officials and volunteers, and ultimately defined a short-term rental as a rental or lease of any dwelling unit for a period of 30 days or less. They also took a look at Shandaken's rental legislation. And if you're interested in knowing more, there's going to be a review of the board and the attorney before a public hearing is set.
And the biggest local sports news is, drum roll please, Stanford Jefferson girls really hooped it up on the basketball court. Matt, tell us about this victory.
It was a great one. We have a picture of the smiling champions on the cover of this week's paper. They won the Section 4 Class D title. Depending on when you're viewing this, they may have already or they had played in Binghamton with results waiting. But a wonderful victory for Stanford Jefferson and their girls basketball team.
South Courtright boys team fell to Edmiston, who then went on to win the championship by defeating Skenevis. Matt, some highlights, please.
Absolutely. It was an upset for the Skenevis Dragons. We have several articles about the ends of the boys and the girls tournament. We wound up seeing the fourth-seeded Skenevis Dragons stunning in their victory over Morris. We also wound up seeing South Courtright falling, and as you mentioned, the tournament coming to a close. Some more coming up with Stanford Jefferson continuing in the tournament, but otherwise, a lot of local schools have been eliminated.
Big news for the area. Margaretville Hospital will once again have a primary care and a few new nurses. Matt, talk about these recent hires.
This is one that I wrote up. I talked to Michael Hockman, the director of the hospital, about these excellent hires. He said that these are part of the investments that Westchester Medical and Margaretville Hospital are making for local care. There's a new LPN, there's 2 nurse practitioners, and there's Dr. Judith McGlosky. We have a picture of Dr. Judith in the paper. Hockman told us about how the hospital is making sure to prioritize primary care. He said he heard many of the pieces of feedback from the community and ultimately decided, alongside the hospital network, to invest in the community. The doctor's going to start June 1st.
Delco County supervisors approved a media plan as well as a town budget of more than $500,000. How does that budget break down, Matt?
Almost $300,000 for this media plan that was approved March 11th. Almost $200,000 is going to be used for professional service, about $80,000 to $81,000 for advertising. Key budget items include marketing through a company called Awestruck. There's going to be public relations through the Brandman Agency, printing the county travel guide, and significantly more.
In Delhi, nearly $500,000 is going for park and pool updates. Fill us in on this spending plan, Matt.
At the last meeting, the Delhi Town Supervisor Maya Bukai provided updates with almost $470,000 from an Environmental Protection Fund grant program going to the parks and pool in the community. Bukai said that she is working with state representatives to finalize the terms of a matching grant. Overall, the project cost is going to be about $625,000. It's going to be about a 5-year timeline that includes $240,000 for fitness court, $175,000 for equipment, $30,000 for installation, and several more. The council is working with the county for a request for proposals. We also see a number of other efforts with the supervisor saying that she hopes to have the rest of the match secured by the end of the year.
In Bovina, the town is moving forward with logging nearly 65 acres of land by the transfer station. Matt, what's the update?
We've talked about forestry in Bovina before, and now the town board moved forward with the logging of almost 65 acres of land surrounding the transfer station. At their March 10th meeting, we wound up seeing one member of the council, Dom Gullel, reach out to the 3 foresters recommended by and certified through the Watershed Agricultural Council. Town officials agreed to provide this land, but excluded areas behind Yankee Road to address constituents' concerns.
The Delaware Academy revealed its upcoming budget last week. Matt, details, and also, why did they form an audit committee?
DA went over a number of different budget items. They had a pretty comprehensive summary in the paper and at their meeting. They wound up seeing year-over-year growth of spending about 11%, which is tied to employee benefits. An early revenue picture showed that roughly about $25 million in income will still leave about a $500,000 gap to close. And the audit committee is going to be comprised of 7 members of the board to review annual audit reports, management responses, corrective action plans, and more. Meetings of this committee will be kept in accordance of open meeting law.
The MARC project is extending its deadline for Grand Gorge and Roxbury property and business owners. How does this impact the village's Main Street revitalization, Matt?
This should help. By extending the deadline to April 15th, it's going to give more time for local property owners, businesses, entrepreneurs, anyone with a project proposal, a chance to pitch in for the $10 million granted by the state. The Small Project Fund offers grant funding for eligible improvements and small-scale projects in the community. And if you'd like to know more, we have contact information for the MARC project in the paper.
On the crime beat, there's a conviction and sentence in a Fleischmann's grand larceny. Matt, this has been an ongoing case.
Deborah Peters, age 57, of Fleischmann's, pleaded guilty to grand larceny in the 4th degree, which is a Class E felony, and was sentenced to 5 years of felony probation on March 10th. This was announced by District Attorney Sean Smith, and the case was the result of an investigation conducted by New York State Trooper Anna Olino and investigator Mark Head. She is alleged to have and pleaded guilty to stealing from a house she was house sitting for, taking jewelry in November of 2024.
There was also a conviction in Delhi on a DWI. A 21-year-old pled guilty. Matt?
Tara Mahoney of Pearl River pleaded guilty in the town of Delhi court on March 10th to 1 count of driving while intoxicated, which is an unclassified misdemeanor, and was sentenced to 1-year conditional discharge. She also is required to attend a victim impact panel, impaired drivers program, and her license will be revoked for at least 6 months.
And a Hancock man pled guilty to a case involving a semi-automatic weapon.
Christopher Reynolds, 33, of Hancock, pleaded guilty to criminal possession of a weapon in the 3rd degree, which is a Class D felony. Before the Honorable Judge John Hubbard on March 10th, he admitted that he was in possession of a semi-automatic assault weapon which contained a pistol grip. This stemmed from a New York State police investigation in which it was revealed that he had unintentionally discharged a firearm while inside his home, causing injury to a child.
On the arrest scene, another Hancock man violated an order of protection.
Sheriff Craig Dumont and his department alleged that a Hancock man, James Prosak, age 38, had violated an order of protection. He allegedly sent a number of Facebook messages to a protected person while a valid order of protection was issued by the town of Walton Court.
On the other side of the law, the Department of Environmental Protection graduated 31 new police officers in Kingston. Congrats to the new graduates. And on the nature front, a raccoon tested positive for rabies in Colchester. Matt, what does this mean for the area wildlife and pets?
Hopefully this is an isolated case. We'll be discussing if there's more rabies cases. We have a pretty extensive press release from the county out of fear that there might be more or that others might come into contact with animals with rabies. That being said, there are a number of free rabies clinics. I highly recommend to bring your animal to those clinics. This is a time of the year where rabies is especially concerning. Please make sure, keep your food inside, keep your pets protected.
On a fun note, Margaretville Central School celebrated Dr. Seuss Spirit Week. Matt, the paper has some really cute photos of a very colorful breakfast.
Turns out that ultimately they do like green eggs and ham, and this was actually inspired by another Dr. Seuss favorite, Oh, the Places You'll Go. We wound up seeing a variety of Seuss-inspired costumes, projects, things for students, parents, and faculty to do. And it also had a special surprise when the Cat in the Hat made a special visit. Everyone loved it. Some really nice pictures and a good write-up in this week's paper.
There's going to be a gathering of local historical groups in Jefferson. Matt, what is this meeting for?
This one's wonderful. This one's closer to me. Up in Schoharie County, there's going to be an organization of local Schoharie County historical societies, historians, deputy historians. A lot of progress has been made in local historical societies in recent years. And the Jefferson Historical Society is going to host this gathering on Saturday, April 18th.
For more on these and other articles, pick up the Mountain Eagle or Catskills Chronicle. Matt, before you go, give us a quick look at next week's headlines.
We're going to be looking at more information from the county as the county board is going to have its next meeting. We're going to have a variety of other town meetings as the month continues, and perhaps most importantly, the results of the Stanford-Jefferson girls game.
Matt, thank you for keeping us all up to date. We appreciate you. And now it's time to talk sports. Here's John.
As Cyndi Lauper once sang, girls just want to have fun. In the Section 4 basketball championships, it was 2 girls basketball teams from Delaware County that had all the fun. In Class D girls championship play, the gals from Stanford-Jefferson won their first ever sectional crown as a combined team with a 59-45 championship victory over Cherry Valley Springfield. As has become their habit, McKenna Hoyt and Tierney Turner were the big guns for SJ, Hoyt leading all scorers with 25 points and Turner finishing close behind with 24. After bringing home the Delaware League basketball title, then the Section 4 Class D basketball championship, SJ takes their game to the state level as they chase a New York State Class D basketball crown. I was in Delhi for the Class D championship games last week, and I saw something Saturday I have never seen before at a basketball game. It was special. For starters, as I see it going forward, Cherry Valley Springfield has a strong, promising future. Stanford-Jefferson has a senior strong team. All but one of SJ's gals were seniors. That's rare. The SJ girls were bigger and stronger than the Patriots, and the Patriots were young, with key players in their first or second year of high school. But you could see the young Patriot gals understand the game, and you could tell they play a lot of basketball. They played hard. They were just out-muscled around the basket. But it was after the final horn when the Patriot team did something special. Remember, These gals had just been denied their chance of a sectional basketball title. Showing no woe-is-me behavior, the Patriot girls quickly assembled in a long line, then raced to the officials, each girl fist-bumping the 3 officials who'd called the game. It was a bold example of class and great sportsmanship. I loved it. Stanford Jefferson wasn't the only Delaware County girls basketball team to bring home a Section 4 title. The gals from Delhi Academy, too, were crowned champions. In the Bulldogs' case, Class C sectional kingpins. The Bulldogs are having a magical season, winning their first ever Mid-State Athletic Conference basketball title and now adding their first ever Section 4 crown. The Bulldogs topping Union Springs 54-40. Danielle Ennist had a big game for Delhi, scoring a game-high 20 points with teammate Tyler Apps netting 11. The Bulldogs move on to the Class C state championship tournament. That leaves 2 Delaware League girls basketball teams playing in the state championship tournament. Yes, girls just want to have fun. Things did not end so well for the boys' lone Delaware County Section 4 championship squad. The Delhi Academy boys, winners of the past 4 Mid-State Athletic Conference championships, came up a whisker short in the Class C Section 4 title game. The Bulldogs falling in overtime 68-64 to Elmira Notre Dame. A tip-off shout-out to the Delhi guys for their remarkable championship basketball season. That's our local sports report for the week.
Thanks as always, John. CatskillsAir has partnered with SUNY Delhi to bring you highlights of local high school games. Check out the video on our channel. Now, let's see what Elizabeth has in arts and entertainment.
Hope you're having a wonderful day out there, being creative and passionate in whatever you're doing. At the Open Eye Theater, Main Street, Margaretville, Marcel Smith, a healer and percussionist, will be doing a sound bath meditation, a wonderful event if you've never been to it. Age is not a problem. You can go at any age and participate in this wonderful event. Sound is healing. This is a wonderful way just to relax and experience something you may have not. The spring equinox, it's a perfect time for something this soul-searching and relaxing. March 21st at 3 p.m. You can go to the Open Eye Theater online to find out more information if you wish. At the Wyndham Fine Arts, the Wyndham Fine Arts Gallery, a showing, New Artisans, Judith Dunbar, thick impasto art, incredible landscapes and colorful, beautiful texture like Van Gogh. Kenneth Young, amazing landscapes, the Grand Canyon and other special parks. The landscapes are full of imagery that we remember from Old West paintings. You must go check that out. Bushel has a new opening. Bushel in Delhi. The Bushel Collective is a body of artisans of all genre. They have all kinds of performances, installations, a wonderful place to go to if you haven't. Their exhibition opens March 28th. The opening is from 4 to 7. It's called Speculative Spaces. Zachary Cummings and Andrew Foster. Let's get out there and help support Bushel Collective. They need all kinds of things. If you even want to donate, you can bring things that you no longer need. If you're changing the material that you use and you have extra acrylics, frames, canvases, anything you need, you can bring to Bushel and donate for other artisans who may not have. And also an open call. Anybody who has an event coming up, a program they want to help promote, an artist opening, let me know. We'll have you on Focus on the Arts and help promote your upcoming exhibition or event. Just let us know at CatskillsAir or me personally at BethMammy61@gmail. We'll see you next time.
The DEC has issued a warning to Catskill hikers. Warmer weather and rains have created dangerous conditions. Key winter routes in the high peaks are now impassable due to washed out bridges, thawed streams, and flooding. If you do go into the woods, check out the Hike Smart webpage for conditions and updates. Let's see what's coming up weather-wise.
Good day, Catskill Mountain friends and neighbors. It's Lori with CatskillsAir, bringing you your weekly weather update for the beautiful, pristine, still highly wacky and unpredictable in weather Catskill Mountain region. And folks, it's wacky all across the country, from record-breaking heat to record-breaking snowfall to wildfires to lots of rain and tornado threat. And it looks like as we battle out for the seasons with Old Man Winter and springtime fling, which spring is supposed to start at the end of the week, we're going to get a little bit of everything but the kitchen sink this week in weather. So let's give it a go and check out what's happening in the Catskill Mountains for this weekend in weather. Monday, we can expect showers early with late day steady rain and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be balmy in the upper 50s, winds gusting out of south-southeast at 10 to 20. Overnight, we have rain early, followed by late night snow showers after midnight. Temperatures are going to plummet back to the low 20s with winds gusting out of the west-southwest at 10 to 20. On Tuesday, happy St. Paddy's Day, we have cloudy skies with a few passing flurries and snow showers in the morning. Temperatures are only going to top out in the upper 20s with winds gusting out of the west at 10 to 20. Overnight, we have a few passing clouds, very crisp, very cold. Temperatures are going to drop back to the low teens with winds gusting out of the west-northwest at 10 to 20. On Wednesday, we have partly cloudy skies with peaks of sunshine. Temps are going to be in the mid to upper 30s with winds lightly blowing out of the west-southwest at 5 to 10. Overnight, we have partly cloudy skies, turning to mostly cloudy skies after midnight with a late night chance of freezing drizzle after midnight. Temps are going to dip back to the low 20s with winds lightly blowing out of the south at 5 to 10. On Thursday, we have partly sunny skies with the possibility of a floating flurry in the afternoon. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 30s, winds lightly blowing out of the south-southwest at 10 to 15. Overnight, we have scattered snow showers with lots of clouds. Temps are going to dip back to the low 30s, winds out of the southwest at 5 to 10. And on Friday, the first day of spring, we're going to have sunshine with very crisp, cool air. Temperatures are going to reach the upper 30s, winds lightly blowing out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10. And overnight, we have variable cloud cover with snow showers after midnight with a light accumulation with temps dipping back to the upper 20s, low 30s, winds lightly blowing out of the south-southwest at 5 to 10. As I bid you farewell, remember that weather and temperature changes on a dime, especially in the beautiful Cats. Be sure to join me, Lori, for your weekend weather update because I have a feeling spring is not going to win for the weekend ahead. So see you then from somewhere in the Cats.
That's it for CatskillsAir News. If you see something, let us know. I'm Chris Cook. Jessica Murphy returns next week. Bye for now.